What's going on? Welcome back to the RPO College Football Podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and you already know who I got next to you, the man, the myth, the legend. You already see on his shirt, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. I don't even know how to make a good intro to this podcast right now because I just want to get right into it, Ray. I just want to get right into it. Let's do it. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So you already know how yesterday was, man. We already got the college football playoffs rankings, the first one. Now, we always do this every year. We always get the college football rankings. They always teeter a little bit to what the AP poll is. It's usually kind of online. They might switch one person up, one person down just a little bit, but for the most part, it's usually, in my opinion, maybe Ray, you have some other opinions on it, but usually I believe it's usually around very, very close and very similar. Yesterday was a bombshell. I don't think anybody seen what happened yesterday, and let's talk about it. The top 5 teams in the college football rankings, and we can actually let's go top 10. Let's go top 10. Number 10 coming in is Ole Miss, 7-1 right now. They are looking pretty good. They are playing Texas A&M next this upcoming week. Then at number 9 we got Oklahoma, again another 7-1 team. They are playing Oklahoma State this week, a rivalry game. Number 8, we got Alabama, who've been looking a lot better this season, going through the season, how they kind of started off. They are 7-1. They are playing LSU this weekend. Huge game for them. That's going to be a very interesting game. And number 7, we got Texas coming at 7-1. They are playing Kansas State over there. Number 6, we got Oregon, a really good team, just lost to Washington, going against Cal this weekend. Then at number 5, the team that we were just mentioning, the 8-0 Washington Huskies playing USC. I think that game would have been a little bit better if USC had been playing a little bit better these last 2 games, but I'm pretty sure we all expect Washington to win. We're going to talk about that later on. Number 4, I think this is a surprise team for this year, being at number 4. We got Florida State. They are 8-0. They are playing Pittsburgh. Some people would think, maybe Washington should be right there. Florida been playing very well. Whatever. Number 3, a huge surprise for me, and I'm going to get into this in a second, is Michigan. 8-0. They playing Purdue this weekend. Number 2, a huge surprise as well. It was number 1 all year. Got knocked down to number 2. Georgia, 8-0. They play Missouri this weekend. That's a good Missouri team. We'll see how that works out. And then number 1. I don't even want to say their name. Ohio State. There's no D for me. There's no D. They're Ohio State. Number 1, 8-0, and they are playing the Rutgers this weekend. So, with that being said, obviously there's a big, huge shakeup within the first 3 teams right there, at least. I think for the most part, after that, I think we kind of agree for the most part. Some people might say Washington maybe 4, like I said earlier. Ray, first initial reactions when you see this?
Except for Ohio State being number 1, I don't really have a big deal with. I don't think that Georgia should have been knocked out of number 1. I think Michigan should be 2. I would put Ohio State because they did have a nice win against Penn State a couple weeks ago.
Correct.
We have them 3. Mm-hmm. And I would have Florida State 4 because I think Florida State has played very good football this year. And I think we need to get into a conversation about if their quarterback can win the Heisman or not, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, what's his name? Tre'Davious or
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis playing really well over there for Florida State as well. You're right, Ray. He should be in there. That makes obviously we got Michael Penix right behind those guys, looking very good as well. He can be a Heisman candidate as well. But my initial reactions, and Ray, when this came out, I was very heated when I first seen it. Obviously, if anything, keep Georgia number one and Ohio State number two. I thought having Ohio State at first, I thought having Ohio State was like, whoa, like threw me back. Now, I will say this. Out of the two teams, Georgia and Michigan, I will say this. They have the tougher teams playing a Notre Dame team and playing a Penn State game that they just won. Yeah. Both in my initial issue was both of those games were close, and then obviously Ohio State kind of pulled away at the end of the Penn State game. But I thought, man, that's crazy. Like they have Ohio State number one over Georgia. Now, thinking about it after some time, kind of calmed down a little bit. I'm okay with it. And here's why. Penn State, Notre Dame, good wins. I don't think Penn State or Notre Dame. I think Penn. I will say I gave a lot of stock to Penn State. I thought they can really pull it off this year and be that team. And Ray, I'm kind of getting on the board with you about the coaching aspects of that because I think that is a very talented team, but they just could not win those big games, So I'm definitely like a little bit more leaning on your side with that aspect of it. Now, talking about Georgia, Georgia haven't played that many teams. I mean, they just beat up on Florida. I don't think we're gonna say Florida was like a world beater, but Florida was solid, really good team. Who else they beat? They played Duke, right? No. Kentucky. Kentucky is a team that I thought they could have won. Kentucky's falling apart a little bit. So, okay. When you kind of compare the two, if anything, like I said, Georgia should still be number one, if anything. You can't knock off the champions. The champions are the champions, So I'm going to give that to that. But at the same time, Michigan got Penn State and Ohio State on their schedule. They got plenty of time to change that narrative. Who do Georgia play next couple of games? I forget. I think they have
they have Missouri, then Ole Miss, then Tennessee, then Georgia Tech.
Yeah, so their schedule's heating up a little bit too.
Well, that's you know what, Jerome. That's why maybe if you look at Ohio State's schedule and Georgia's schedule, Ohio State probably has better play teams. Because I don't want to build up Notre Dame because they played very well the last few games. Mm-hmm. But at the time, that was a really good win for them because we were both top 10 teams. Correct. And then they beat Penn State, who was a top 5 team. So I get that part of it. I'm not upset that they moved them up. Mm-hmm. I would be more like surprised that they did it because usually,
it was a big jump though, right? And like my other thing is like you jumped them up to number one, and their next biggest game is against Michigan. That's their next biggest game,
right?
So you gave them you jumped them over 2 teams, and I don't want to, I am a Michigan fan. And we're going to get to the comments in a second because we do got a couple of comments in here. I am a Michigan fan, so there is a slight bias to it. But also, I'm just like, you play who's on your schedule, right? And when you play who's on your schedule, and they're not they're in an inferior team, they're not as good as your team, you're supposed to dominate them. And that's what Michigan been doing. Michigan been dominating every team that they've been playing. When you look at Ohio State, 21-10 to Wisconsin. And you look at okay, they dominated mostly on from there, but that Wisconsin game, their last game, 24-10. Now they didn't dominate that game. You know, the two games that the two big teams they did win, it was an 8-point win and a 3-point win. So it's not like they have a significant win. Like if you look at Georgia, and I'm not even gonna go to Michigan right now, but you go to Georgia, they beat Kentucky, who was a big team, 51-13. They beat Florida, who's a really good team, 43-20. You get what I'm saying? You know, even I mean, the South Carolina game was a 10-point game. Okay, maybe. But like you can add all that up. Like you got a South Carolina team was not a bad team. You had an Auburn team. That game was close. It was a 7-point game, but solid team. You know, they know you. You know, that happens. Kentucky dominated Kentucky. That was their next biggest game, right? On the schedule. The next biggest game after that, Florida, 43-20. So for you to knock down Georgia, at least, it was very surprising to me. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, yeah, Ohio State won the games they're supposed to win, but you know, I just kind of felt like Georgia, the games that and two of those games were two games that I was like, I don't know, Georgia's gonna win these games. I've been skeptical about them, and they proved me wrong. And I wanted to come on and talk about this too, and we're gonna talk about a little bit more about Georgia because your boy Carson Beck proved me a little wrong this week. He played very well. I'm not gonna lie. After I think he's getting a little bit better. After I say, I don't really trust him, and I'm not fully there yet. But he proved me wrong this last game. Give me more of it, obviously. Give me more of it. I want to see more. But Ray, I'm gonna let you talk, and then I'm gonna get into one last thing with.
The only thing I'll make it easy. I'm just surprised that Georgia, usually SC teams, as long as they take care of their games, they don't fall in the rankings.
Yeah,
that's all. I mean, like I'm not surprised that Ohio State jumped up. I'm a little surprised if they'd have been like second or third, I'd have been like, that makes sense. To put them over Georgia when Georgia's done nothing wrong is surprising.
Yeah. All right. Let me get to my team now. I talked very highly of Georgia. Let me get to my team real quick because this is the part I don't get about this. Like again, you play who's on your schedule, right? Whatever. Played first game of the year. Played ECU, East Carolina, 30-3. Now, some will say, man, you should have blown them out a little bit more than that, and I agree. I thought that was a little slow in the beginning of the game. Second game of the year, 35-7. Again, you can be like, okay, maybe offense should have got more points. Okay, whatever. Bowling Green, 31-6. Again, same deal. Rutgers, same deal, 31-7. The last four games, 45-7, 52-10, 52-7, and 49-zip. The last four games was over 40 points, dominating each game. My thing is, when you have a lot of bad teams on your schedule, that's how you should be playing. You should be dominating each one, and each team literally didn't score much on our teams. We dominated them. And Ray, you made a point early in the season where you said what you said about Michigan. Mm-hmm. Repeat it if you want.
All right.
Yeah, and at that time when you said that, I was like, I'm not sure yet. I was truthful with my team. We've been beating every team on a schedule, and I'm not sure yet. Since I said that, we've been dominating on offense too. And that's the part I was kind of waiting for it to click. I was waiting for the offense to click, and it happened. So, yeah, you could have hit Ohio State over Michigan. I understand strength of schedule is a part of it as well. But also, if they're talking about style points as well, you play who's on your schedule. And again, I'm okay with it now because you know what? we got 2 teams on our schedule that we can prove ourselves and get to that point. But I just think that to be so hasty to put them at number 1 so fast, I think that was a little crazy. That's just my opinion. Again, I do hate Ohio State, so maybe there's a little bias behind it, but I just wanted to put my case out there for you guys.
No, I agree, Jerome. Here's the other thing that, like, I know people don't like Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I'm not one
especially right now because they're going crazy. The Atlanta radio is going crazy on Harbaugh right now, and I'm listening to it every morning. I'm okay.
No team in the SEC should ever complain about anyone else cheating. Okay, no team. That's first and foremost. No team in the SEC should ever complain about anybody cheating. You guys created it. You invented it. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. And again, like I said, I'm not a Jim Harbaugh hater. I respect Jim Harbaugh. I think he's a good football coach. I trust him more than Ryan Day and way more than James Franklin. That's all.
Definitely. Let me see who is on our chat right now. Remy, what's going on, my guy? Thank you for being on. We appreciate you. I should have known it was you because you be talking Ohio State, but let's get into your comments real quick, sir. He says, I think Penix is the favorite right now. I think he is. I think you're right.
I agree with that.
Yeah. If they win the Pac-12, he will be the winner of the Heisman Trophy. I agree.
Agree with that too.
Okay. All right. So initial college football rankings are exactly where they are, exactly what they're doing now, shaking things up, make sure the audience stay tuned for the next couple of months. By the end of everything, we'll take care of itself. I agree. The top 4 will be who they. I agree, and that's why I had to calm down with my initial thoughts and looks at it because I was just like, whoa, like I was thrown back by the whole thing. So I do agree with you, Remy. Like we're on the same page right now. We're on the same page. So I did fall back a little bit. I was like, all right, let me look into the thoughts of them and what they're thinking a little bit. It did throw me off, and I like you said, it will itself out in the next couple of weeks. So, Florida is really a good team. Did they really? did he really just say that? No, I mean, dude, they're a solid team. Like all right, let's play Florida versus who's the okay team? For Florida versus Duke, who's winning?
Florida.
There you go.
Let me preface this by saying I like Duke's coach better than Florida's coach.
Yeah.
You ask me who's a more talented roster, it's Florida.
Correct.
That's all.
I agree. No, I agree. I agree, Jerome, you should beat TCU by more, especially I still your somebody did it. Go one, Remy. Here comes the Buckeye fans.
Buckeyes #1. Love it.
Oh man, Chris, you missed the first part of this. Thank you for being on, Chris. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all y'all Ohio State fans, man. Y'all make it fun. Y'all do make it fun. Just like Cowboys fans, y'all make it fun too. Even though y'all Cowboy fans are so annoying. I would just say that. But Chris, Cowboys week, baby. Let's go. I'm okay with the rankings now. I was a little butthurt about it, like how did Ohio State beat jump in front of both. But like we said, we're going to definitely see how it goes, and I'm okay with it for now. Now, if it's be very similar by the end of the season, and obviously 2 of the teams are going to face each other. Georgia's, we already talked about Georgia's next couple of opponents. So what we got, like what, 3 more weeks, something like that?
4.
Yeah, 4 more weeks. So we'll see, man. We'll see. We still got, like I said, we still got to play Penn State, who's 11, and we got that game at the end of the year, and it's at.
My question is: here's the only thing I would say: if you knocked Ohio State up for a big win over Penn State, then Penn State shouldn't have dropped out of the top 10.
I agree with that.
You look at Penn State's roster; there is talent as almost any team in college football.
I 100% agree, and that's why I thought Penn State could have won that game. I did pick Penn State for that
Would
game.
have, but would not
because of that.
the coach is James Franklin is a horrible game coach, man. I don't care what anyone tells me.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I'm starting to lean to that. Ray says it every podcast as much as he can say it, and I don't vote.
Here's the thing, man. I don't really care for the Big Ten teams, but I do respect the conference. Again, my father was a huge Penn State fan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I get the whole Big Ten and plus the area we live in. I get all of that.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I expect more from a Penn State coach than what James Franklin gives me.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I agree.
He's a great recruiter, man. I'm not saying he's a very good
talented. They are talented.
A very, very good recruiter, man. He just, I don't understand. Like he seems disengaged from what's going on the field. And I'm not saying he doesn't interact with the players. He does, but it seems like it doesn't bother him that he never wins a big game. And I don't get that. And it looks to me like Jerome is frozen because he hasn't changed his expression in like 2 minutes now.
Gotcha.
There you go.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's get to the chat room real quick, and then we're gonna move on. Isn't college football amazing? They make sure you stay tuned to the end. No, and hey, the committee does what they need to do. You know, they do what they need to do. So let's give them credit, man. I guess they know what they're doing. So I mean, except that 1 year they kept TCU out. I was like about them, you know. That was a crazy year.
Yeah, but they let TCU in last year, and then, well, even though they did have a big upset over Michigan, I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, they did, dude. I'm telling you, Ray. Everybody was coming at me after that game. I'm like, dude, that was a fun freaking game to watch.
It was a good game.
That was a fun game.
That's the other thing about the Penn State-Ohio State game. If it would have been like a nice shootout where one team just won at the end because they had the ball last, that would have been really cool. It wasn't. It was a boring game.
Yeah, it was.
Penn State played like they were playing in the 40s.
Yeah.
God, it was horrible.
And Penn State is much too worse off with Washington coming to the Big Ten. Yeah, that's true. We got some guys coming to Big Ten that's gonna shake this conference up a little bit, man. So, and I think we need it because Ohio State and Michigan on the same side, and then that championship game. Yeah. So I think that's a huge get for Big Ten. So that championship game can be a true championship game.
Well, the nice thing about it is Washington is on the upswing right now, so it's a good time for them to merge.
100%.
I like that part of it.
I do too, actually.
I wish they would separate Ohio State and Michigan, though. I know there's two divisions in that. Big Ten. I just wish they would play like.
And that's why they always make us the last game of the season. That's literally why they do that.
Jerome, we all know. Well, most college football fans know that Michigan and Ohio State are the best two teams in the Big Ten.
Correct.
Right now, they're the best. Penn State's the only one that's really close in talent to those. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
But because you play in the same conference, one of you are going to lose and have to play like one of the other teams who aren't as good as you.
Yep.
So it's kind of frustrating.
It's been like that forever, man. And it's just strange because you already know it's going to be either Ohio State or Michigan in the playoffs when it's kind of all said and done. So it does kind of stink. It does definitely.
And the thing is, when Nebraska and Wisconsin were really good, it didn't matter as much.
It didn't matter. Yeah, they were really good at one point, but now not as much. So, all right, we got to hurry up and get to our reviews real quick. I just wanted to talk about the rankings. I know it just came out last night. A lot of people are excited and, very curious and want to know what we thought about that. So let's get right into our Week 9 recap. I think it was a pretty good slate of games, Ray. We had some, close games. We had some not so close games. We had some upsets that some people was like, maybe they shouldn't have lost that game, or that was a crazy win. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about our first game: Oklahoma versus Kansas. Kansas beating Oklahoma, the 7-0 Oklahoma, 38-33 was the final. Oklahoma was favored by 7, and Kansas was home. Ray, what's your initial thoughts on this one?
Oklahoma's defense kind of let the team down by really not doing anything in this game. It's a shame they had a big win the week before against Texas, and then they crapped the bed against Kansas. I mean, it was a frustrating game to watch because I like defense, at least some defense, and I didn't get a whole lot of it in this game. And again, Oklahoma played on offense like they do. They just their defense didn't make any stops. I mean, it was really bad.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't really make any stops. I mean, 443 yards. Now, granted, both teams was horrible on defense. There was a lot of points scored, a lot of yards and a lot of points scored. Oklahoma running game was pretty good. I mean, even Daniel Gabriel, 14 of 19, but only 147 yards. So he wasn't getting a whole bunch of yards down the field. It was a lot of dunking. So their running game was, most of their offense. But, like we say, if their defense ain't doing much, then it's not really going to help them that much. So,
I mean, Kansas ran for 211 yards. I mean,
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely a game with that one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kansas because I really didn't see that coming. So they got a nice little season right now. It's being 6-2. So
yeah,
wasn't expecting that at all. All right, let's get to our next game because I want to talk about this. Clemson versus NC State. Clemson, I think for the first time in like forever, are 4-4 right now. Are they done? Is it over?
Done for the season, sure.
Man, my guy Kincaid throwing for 50 attempts, threw not 2 touchdowns, no, the opposite, 2 interceptions in this game. What's going on with this team, man? It just seems the offense is not clicking, right?
Their offense is not clicking. The defense is, for the last 2 years, has gotten worse. Instead of getting better each game, they get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I'm just surprised. I never would have thought that Dabo's would let the team fall apart like this. It seemed.
Yeah. My thing too. But
I don't call for anybody to be fired. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about, is Dabo Sweeney almost? Nah, you can't make a move like that.
Chris, relax. That's so mean. That's crazy. What's your regret with Dabo, man? What's your regret with him? What you want him? What you want him at Ohio State? Dude, if y'all got Dabo Sweeney, I'll be scared of Ohio State. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If Ohio State got Dabo, I'll be scared. I'm not gonna lie. I like Dabo. I don't know why all the hate behind him, but I don't see it. But I will say this about him in this game. I don't understand when your guy Will Shipley, obviously that's your bell cow, your number 1 running back, goes out. Why you decide to run so much? I mean, pass so much. I mean, Maffa is a good running back. Keep the ball in his hands, especially if your quarterback's struggling. Like keep the ball in your guys' hand. And I don't think NC State's defense is outstanding. Like I don't think like they're good, but I don't think they're like, oh, we can't do anything against these guys. Like I didn't understand why the outcome came out to be the way it is with these guys,
I just think, again, their defense has not been good for a couple years, and we're starting to realize that their offensive line is not good, hasn't been good for a couple years. Trevor Lawrence kind of hid that a couple of years ago for a while.
Yeah.
They were not that good. And now because you can't run, you're not running the ball, your defense is out there all the time, and you're just not winning games right now. So,
No, 100%. I just think that, like you said, Trevor Lawrence playing very well right now and showing that he's, obviously he still got some growing pains and he's not, all the way there to be like, oh yeah, he's definitely the number one overall pick yet. He's not showing that initial like he's an elite kind of quarterback yet, but he's a really good, maybe even great quarterback right now, especially with Doug Peterson being there, really helping him out. So it's showing that they had a guy on that team that was really good. And then you remove him and the team kind of falls apart. And again, like, I say this all the time, real big, fan of Klubnik. It's his first start of this of his career. So I hope he has a comeback. But right now he's not looking that good. And when he's not looking good, the coaches decide it's okay, keep slinging it. Keep slinging it. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, and they did the same thing with DJ last year. It's like the man's struggling. Help him out. I know the offensive line's not good, but help him out. You're not helping him. You're just like, go sling it, go sling it, go sling it. And I think at the end of the day, it's just probably just really tearing down the psyche of these players. You know what I mean? Like, you start questioning yourself and this and that. And he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I've been following this guy for a while. I even had LaMarcus do film breakdowns on him one time. And he's like, dude, this kid is nice. So I think he has it in him to be a very good player. I just think that obviously, like we said, offensive line is having issues. And I just think the coaching staff is not really helping him out in that aspect either. So we'll see. Ray, you got any final words on this game?
No, just that they really haven't helped the last two quarterbacks out last year. They didn't do a great job either. But
DJ, yeah.
And I know I didn't see it, but someone was telling me about how Dabo went off at a reporter this week talking about that.
I heard about that too, actually.
Yeah, about how Clemson fans are spoiled. Some Clemson fans are spoiled. And,
yeah.
you had one bad year in 5 years or 7 years, and everybody's ready to jump off the ship. And I'm not saying he's completely wrong, but you have seen him get worse the last couple of years. So I think that's the fear.
Yeah. So
we're not getting better now. That we're continuously getting worse now.
Yeah, my guy Link. My guy Lou Winston covers Clemson. He was on with us a couple of times before as a guest on here. I just think he when he was telling me, because I didn't get to watch the full clip, I was listening to the snippets like you got, like the fans have, and everybody else was as well. And he was telling me the full version of that. It's not as bad as it sounds. So I didn't get to hear the full version yet of it.
Didn't hear it either. Right? What I heard was, so I don't know exactly what was said.
Yeah.
The gist of it was Clemson fans are pissed because Clemson's not good for the first time in a few years.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, again, man, like you lose a defensive coordinator like they lost. He's hard to replace.
100%.
Offensive line's been bad for a couple of years, and just seems like every kind of just like steamrolled into one package for this year. But you got to, you do have to just suck it up if you're Clemson and say, yo, it's a bad year. Let's see what we do next year. You know what I mean? So
100%. Yeah, definitely restart, refresh, see what we can do. So, all right. Our next game is Miami versus
Virginia.
I was having a burping moment. Miami going to overtime on Virginia. The 2-6 Virginia Cavaliers. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping so much. 29-26 overtime win. Ray, what's your thoughts on this one initially?
Good game. Very hard to watch. I didn't expect Miami to have as hard of a time as they did with Virginia. But, I mean, man, it was an exciting game. They won,
Yeah, it was a close game. Mario Cristobal say it was progress, and they have a long way to go. I mean, you're right. You're right. We need to start seeing something though. But I personally think that you can't have these type of games. Obviously, the recruiting when he came in and the recruiting came in, it's not really being in full effect right now. So we'll see when his guys start really playing a lot more and start rolling in, because he did have a couple of good years with recruiting. So he might be right about the progress part, and maybe I don't know how patient Miami's gonna be. Especially, I mean, right? You hear a lot about this team more than I think any of us. What's some of the things that you're hearing in Miami right now? Is it like uproar, or is it you think it's they're being patient down there?
They had the horrible loss against Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
They should have just sat on the ball and they didn't. That was people were kind of outraged about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think again, you win the last two games, people were back on board.
Okay.
I think Principal is a guy that fans down there want to like.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, it all has to come out on the field.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, he's a good recruiter. We'll see how things work out for him.
Definitely.
Right now, it's up and down. It's week to week in Miami. They're the same thing with the Hurricanes they are with the Dolphins. 1 week they love their team, and next week th're all pissed at everybody.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. Yeah, we'll definitely see.
Football's huge in Florida, which it's just like it is in Georgia, just like it is in out in Texas and California.
Yep.
Football's huge down there, man. And if your teams are not good, they're not happy about it. And again, I hate to say this, them 80s and 90s Miami Hurricane team spoiled that fan base.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they're ever going to see that again.
No, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say no. The first of all, the amount of first round, the amount of first rounders on that team. There was backups that were first rounders on that team. They had a astronomical first round, not even just first round, just Hall of Fame type of players on that Miami's team. That team was stacked. That's one. Two, we're not in the age of transfer portal, this and that. There's not a lot of players staying in one spot, Like, there's not a lot of players like, oh, let's just go to one spot real quick and dominate. Like, there's not a lot of that going on because there's so many moving parts nowadays. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say no. I don't think there's gonna be a team like that ever. I just don't see it, especially with the landscape that it is now. I'm sorry. There's no way that you have backups that are first round picks that's gonna stay on a team nowadays.
No, we're in a world where if you don't play for a year or so, you're just going to go into another team.
Exactly. So
yeah, I hate that mentality, but
yeah,
I get it. Like, we all want to play.
Correct.
I mean, we all want, even when we were kids, we all wanted to play. We all wanted to start. I get it. I just don't know if you're willing to always just go the easy route, though. Are you really, if competition is what makes us better, right?
Yeah.
So if we're not always wanting to compete, how good can we really be?
No, I agree.
The Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordan, the Joe Montanas, Brett Favre's, all great players want to be great and want to be coached. Right now, I see guys that just want to play and aren't really worried about competing anymore.
Definitely. I agree.
So,
all right, let's get to our next game real quick. We're going to speed this up just a little bit because we're running a little bit out of time. Louisville versus Duke. I didn't see this lacking. I didn't see this coming. I thought this was going to be a really good game. I thought it was going to be close. Louisville was favored by 5, but they were home as well. 23-0. Now, Riley Leonard was battling injuries, but 9 for 23 is crazy. 9 for 23. He was not playing good. He had a Patrick Mahomes type of week this week. They both played pretty bad this week. Ray, what's your overall thoughts on this one?
that Louisville is more physical team. They're
Louisville's
better,
pretty good, man.
and they just manhandled that team.
I didn't see Louisville looking like this. I'll admit this. I didn't see Louisville playing the way they are right now. They are a very physical team.
They're a physical team, man. I watched them out physical Notre Dame. So
yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
Yep.
So good team, man. We gotta keep an eye out for Louisville. I don't know where they at in the rankings right now. I don't remember.
The crazy thing about it, first year head coach playing at this level already.
Yeah.
It's encouraging if you're a Louisville fan. It is.
Very, very encouraging. Very encouraging. Next game we're gonna talk about is USC versus Cal. Come on, man. Come on. What's going on with USC? Now, yes, they won the game, but again, defense. Where's the defense? 50-49. They had to really come back in this game to come back. I mean, it was 28-17 at halftime. Late heroics by your boy over there, Caleb Williams, really put the team really on his back at the end of it. He's still getting Heisman, candidate votes and stuff like that right now. But that defense is not helping that man out at all. At all.
The shame of it is, Jerome, is that the fact that his team's not performing, it shouldn't knock him out of Heisman voting. But we all know that
how that goes.
The people that vote for that trophy will look at how your team performs come playoff or comes bowl season, and they're not going to perform well because their defense can't stop a beach ball in a 20-mile-an-hour wind, dude.
No, it's bad. It's bad, Ray.
I mean, I didn't know they allowed flag football in college sports anymore.
That's crazy.
That was you'd have to upgrade it tenfold to call it bad tackling. I mean, it was like these guys had turnstiles for arms.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you the numbers right now of this team. Now, obviously, the first two games they played San Jose State and Nevada, who don't have a good offense. But the first game of the season, 28 points they gave up. Second game, Nevada, 14. Stanford, again, not the greatest team, gave up only 10. Since then, they've been increasing how many points they've been giving up. 28, 41, 41, 48, that was against Notre Dame, 32, 49.
The problem is you have the best college. You probably have the best player in college football. I don't question that.
Yep.
Caleb Williams is the best player in college football, like I just said. But imagine how good he would be if he had more possessions to get the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he's putting up good numbers. He's doing his thing. But he's not getting any help. None.
Right. And this is the problem, Ray. Washington, Oregon, UCLA,
and Utah are all better teams than them right now. They play better defense than them, and Utah just beat them only by 2 because they have a quarterback situation in Utah.
Correct.
They would be way better than USC right now.
Yeah.
So Caleb Williams come back to USC with the idea of, I want to go back there and win a national title. And Caleb, do yourself a favor. And win your Heisman if you can. Enter the NFL draft and go make yourself some money, dude.
Honestly, I'm hearing rumblings about Caleb should pack it up now.
I wouldn't pack it up now, but what I would do is I would play the rest of the season.
I do agree with that. That's a very long time without playing football. That is a very long time without playing football.
I play the regular season and then decide from there if I really need to play a bowl game for a team that's not going to win anything now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how that.
You don't want to. you don't want to appear like you're giving up on your team this
Mhm.
early in the season. I mean, because there's still 4 games left.
Correct.
Play your games, go out there and play your game. And obviously, I never tell somebody to play not to get hurt because that's how you get hurt usually.
Yeah.
When you play football, you got to play it 100%, 100%. And if you don't, you wind up getting in your own way and getting hurt like doing that.
Yeah.
So go out there and play your game. I'll be honest with you, Jerome. If I were him, I'm not saying I don't know how much pull he has with the coach here. I know they're boys somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I know you want it. I know you want me to win the Heisman. I understand. I want to win the Heisman too. But
Yeah.
we need to balance our offense and run the ball a little bit and keep our freaking defense off the damn field as much as we can.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That defense,
I mean,
man.
right now, the only shot they have of winning anything is to win a conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
And right now,
It's not looking good.
it's not going to happen.
Nah. I mean, again, they do only have 2 losses on their schedule right now. So if they can do it, they can do it. But like I said, Washington is number 5 right now. Oregon number 6. UCLA 19. I mean that and that's not even including the championship game if you can even make that. Honestly, let's be real.
The odds are they won't make it.
That's what I'm saying.
The odds are that they won't make that game, but you got to at least
Crazy.
put that in your back pocket and say that's what I'm playing for.
Yeah. 100%. All right, game real quick. We're gonna be talking about Tennessee versus Kentucky. Oh man, what a game! 33-27. This was a fun game for me. I really enjoyed this game. Two SEC teams bugging it out and going back and forth. Milton. Joe. I'm sorry, I was about to say Milton Williams, defensive tackle for the Eagles. Joe Milton. Solid game. 17 for 20. Didn't pass too much. 236 yards, a touchdown. And wasn't asked to run too much in this game, which I always like. He only ran 10 times for 25 times, so it's not too much. Still a little bit, but Ray, what's your overall thoughts on this game?
I mean, Jalen Wright ran the ball for 120 yards, only on 11 carries.
Yep.
He ran for 253 yards as a team. This is the kind of game I was talking about. Like, it was just a back and forth, really fun game to watch.
I agree.
It was either team really had to lose, but you saw Tennessee is very athletic. They ran the ball crazy. Devin Leary, quarterback from Kentucky, threw for 372 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was just a nice, fun game to watch. And really, again, it's a shame one team had to lose, and because you want to win the game. But
correct,
Tennessee and Kentucky put a show on for everybody to watch, so it was fun.
Yeah, my biggest thing is that Kentucky didn't do that well running the ball, and I think that was the biggest thing they was doing the best all season was running the ball. I mean, not all off season, but in the beginning of the season, they were running the ball very well, and they just kind of started getting a little pass happy. And I understand, sometimes you need to get a little pass happy. You need to have a little bit, hey, sometimes you need to run a little bit more this game. Hey, sometimes you need to pass a little bit more in this game. I just been a little bit surprised how little they've been running lately, and been getting stopped on a running game. I thought their running game was really good, so that's very interesting to see.
The only rushing was obviously not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if Tennessee's rushing for between 9 and 11 yards a carry, why would you throw the ball?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and then Tennessee's keeping the ball, time possession with the way they were running. Kentucky kind of did have to pass a little bit. So, like I say, I'm not knocking them for not running it because they did run for 28 times, 29 times, something like that. So not a horrible running, game for them, but like I'm just used to seeing how they was running so well in the beginning of the season. Now they kind of got away from it, or not running as efficient as they were. So, but yeah, Tennessee, they're still a team, still a good team. we'll see how they do. You know,
Yeah.
these last couple games. Let me see who they got left. They have Missouri. I'm sorry, UConn. I totally skipped UConn. They got UConn, Mizzou. They do have UGA, and then they have Vandy to finish the season out. So, I mean, if they can finish strong, they can, make a bowl game. Get their name out there, that kind of deal. But we'll see for sure. All right, that's gonna do it for that segment today. Let's get into our Week 10 picks, Ray. So let's get right into that. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for the games. All right, so our first game, we got a couple games that's actually playing right now, by the way. So we'll be getting to them. But we do have a Thursday night game that we're going to be talking about. TCU versus Texas Tech. TCU is 4-4. Texas Tech is 3-5. Texas Tech is favored by 3, and they are home. Ray, who you taking?
I'm going to take Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Home team. I like the fact it's a low line, but home team on Thursday night. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm still going to give TCU. I like some of the things they've been doing. Obviously, their season's not going the way they were. I said this in the beginning of the season. They lost a lot of pieces.
They did.
A lot. So, again, still trying to figure it out. Got some young guys in there, guys that never played on the team, some guys that have been backups are playing now. So it's going to be a little growing pains. I just feel like TCU is the better team at this point. So I'm taking them right there. All right, next game, we got Florida versus Arkansas. Let me find that quick. Where is that game?
Florida is favored by 6, and they are at home.
You got Florida favored by 6, you said?
Favored by 6, and they're at home.
Who you got?
I got Florida.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Still kind of looking for the game. But, yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking Florida as well. Florida's not a bad team, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Who was that, Remy that said that?
I guess. I don't know.
I'm not on that Florida's a bad team kind of thing. Florida's a real good team. They can be a lot of good teams. Or even solid teams or mediocre teams. They definitely could be a lot of mediocre teams.
Sure.
So, and like I said, I think Florida can beat like a Duke or something like that, who's currently ranked. So, don't say Florida's a bad team. So, let's get to our next one. Oh, I forgot to put that up. All right, our next one is Clemson versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame is favored by 3. Clemson's at home. Who you taking, Ray?
I'm taking Notre Dame.
Is this the nail in the coffin, Ray?
For Clemson this year, yeah, but not for. I mean, yeah, they're basically done anyway. But
yeah,
this would be a nail in the coffin for them because
I honestly,
so
Ray, I'm going to say this. This line's not good.
No.
I wholeheartedly think there's gonna be a blowout. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a blowout.
You know what's funny, Jerome?
What's that?
Think about this. Notre Dame's favored. It's at Clemson, and Notre Dame's favored by 3.
Yeah.
Last year, Clemson would have been favored by 4. 2 years ago, Clemson would have been favored by 7 or 8.
Yep.
This is really a
turning type of tides.
Big game for Notre Dame. And it's a big game for Clemson, too, to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But Notre Dame has played very good football the last 2 or 3 weeks. And this could be another notch for them after I'm not, I was really upset after they lost to Louisville. I was. I'm not going to lie.
100%.
But the way they bounced back and the way they played very well the last few weeks. But, again, this is a huge game for Notre Dame. I wish Clemson was better.
Yeah.
I wish they were a 6 or 7 win team because that would make
that would really boost you guys up for real. It would have for real. When they're not that great. So unfortunately, man, and I want Clemson to win so badly, man. They got a lot of guys that we interviewed and a lot of guys that I like over there, but I'm sorry. Where's the fork? Do I have a fork right here? Just stick that fork in them, man. This is over, and I think this might just be a blowout. I really do. I hate to say it like that, but yeah. All right, let's get to our next game. Texas versus Kansas State. Texas is at home. Kansas State is 6-2. Texas is 7-1. We're taking right.
I got Texas.
Yeah, same thing. Same.
Yeah.
Texas, even though the running game is not as good as it was last year, obviously with the two really good players that just went to the NFL, Rashawn and Bijan. But their running game's still good. I think the reason why this is like this is because Ewers might be out in this game.
Yeah, I think so.
He did get injured. Yeah, he did get injured game. So I don't know if he's going to be out or not. So that's why I was talking about the running game. I think the running game is still really solid and really good running back. Crew back there. Funny enough, when Ewers did go out, they didn't play Manning. They played I guess he's the second string currently. And I don't even remember I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember his name. But they played him instead of Manning. So I still think this is a good team. I think it's still a good team. They can squeak this one out. Kansas State, so it's definitely a surprising team. They lost a lot of players too. So they're playing pretty well, 6-2 right now. Not a knock on them. I just think Texas might be just a little bit better. So.
Texas is a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
Where I think, like usually, Kansas State would like it to be more of a wide open game.
Correct.
What kind of plays into Texas though, because that means Kansas would have to play no mistake football to even compete with these guys, and I just don't know if they could do that.
Definitely, I agree. Just trying to see the quarterback. See if they say anything about the quarterback. So, Quentin Ewers. It looked like he might be playing. I don't see anything stating otherwise. So we'll see. We'll see. He's definitely banged up.
Yeah.
Oh no, it says right here, Texas team will very likely be without their starting back. I
know I heard a report the other day that probably wasn't going to play.
Yeah, he has a sprained ACL joint, so which is week to week. We'll see how that goes. And it's probably why the line probably hasn't moved since Monday.
Yeah,
much because we all kind of like wait and see mode right now. So again, we'll wait and see. I'm still taking it Texas though. Even with the backup man. All right, next game we got Ole Miss versus Texas A&M. You taking Ray?
I'm going to take Ole Miss. I'm not crazy about the game. They're at home though. They're favored by 3. Again, a low line. Texas A&M is probably a little bit better than them talent-wise, but I'll take Ole Miss at home.
I'm only taking Ole Miss because I've been taking Texas A&M and every time it's been a miss. So I'm taking Ole Miss because it's been an A miss. And I think Ole Miss been a better team this year. 7-1 right now. They look pretty good. I like what we seeing from them for sure. So
Lane Kiffin's done a pretty good job with that program. They're playing good football. So
agreed. All right, next game, USC versus Cincinnati. You take your Ray. Trying to find out line.
UCF,
sorry. I always do that. I'm so sorry.
It's 4.5. The line is 4.5.
Yes. UCF is favored by. I got them favored at 4 right now.
I got 4.5 here, so probably went down 0.5 point. But it is Cincinnati's at home, so the fact that they're favored by 4.5, 4.5 tells you all you need to know. Really, I got UCF though. Yeah,
I'm going that route as well.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, another team that lost a lot the last couple of years. I think that USC is just a little bit better. I do think this is a close game, so I do agree with the line in some state. But like we said, I just think they're better. So
Yep.
Let's get to Appalachian State versus Marshall, the big rivalry. Both teams are 4-4 right now. Appalachian State been a little disappointing this year. Haven't been playing the way I kind of like them to play. But 4-4, Marshall always been a solid team. They face each other. Appalachian State is at home, and they favored by 3.5. Who are you taking, Ray?
I'm taking App State.
Yeah, I am too. I think I like App State still a little bit better. Again, it's a team that I do think is a really good team that can play any team very hard. This year they haven't been kind of showing that for me though. They haven't been showing me
during rebuild type of program to improve the roster and get more experience. They've lost some close games this year. So
correct. They have. All right, we're getting to the nitty-gritty of this thing. Before we get to that part, I'm gonna go over this team real quick. Miami versus NC State. Miami is favored by 4.5 away. NC State is at home. Miami is 6-2. NC State is 5-3. Who taking, Ray?
I'm taking Miami.
I'm actually going NC State, right? Miami, good team. I just think NC State has a solid defense. I just think they're going to give them problems in this game.
From our conversation earlier, if Miami loses NC State, they're going to be very upset down South Florida.
Yeah.
Very upset.
They're at NC State. So that's another huge reason why.
I get it, man. I do. But I know by the way the guys in Miami are talking about this game that if they lose this game, they're going to be very upset.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. Now we're going to get to our heavy hitters of the week. Obviously, the first one we're going to be talking about is the number 5 Washington versus the number 20 USC. Washington is only favored by 3. They're away. Who's taking this one, Ray?
I'm taking Washington.
I am too.
What are they going to do about Michael Penix? And I don't.
Exactly, dude. Don't get me wrong. I think that the reason why this line is so big because it's going to be a shootout. Like we're all expecting this to be. This might be one of the highest scoring college football games in history. That's what they're thinking. So they don't want to make this too different because it's just going to be fling, fling, fling. Like this is one of those games where you don't want to turn your dial for 1 second because you might miss a lot. Yeah.
This is what I mean. This is the kind of game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Washington is a good defense, but they're a little undersized up front.
Yeah.
If I'm USC, if I'm Caleb Williams, I'm like, dude, we're running the ball in this game. We're going to run the ball. I'm going to take a shot deep every once in a while, and I'm included in the run game.
Yeah.
But we're going to run the ball because we need to balance our offense to keep Michael Penix off the field. Okay?
I agree. But the thing is, their defense is so bad.
Yes.
That Michael Penix is gonna sling that ball, and then they're gonna have to be like, "All right, we're down 10 points. We're gonna have to start slinging the ball."
I agree with you, Drum. That's why if I'm USC and I'm Caleb Williams and I'm the USC head coach, I'm like, nah, we're gonna run the ball here, man. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna keep because we want our guy to win the Heisman, right?
Correct.
If we give the ball back to that team too many times, we might as well just write his freaking name on a trophy right now.
I mean, you're right, Ray. This is literally like the Heisman Trophy game right here. It is
in the next couple of weeks because it really doesn't usually go into the last game of the season. These guys know before that what they're going to vote for.
Yeah,
this is the game. You got two guys leading the race right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins this game is going to be the front runner.
Yep. No, you're right, Ray. You are 100% right. And it's going to put a lot of credibility on the Washington team if they do win. USC, they're still clawing to get to that point.
That's the other thing. Like I'm taking Washington, but part of me wants to take USC because I want them to be the team that says, yo, man, we're going to shut everybody up this week.
Yeah.
We go out there and we take care of this team. People will shut up and leave us alone for a couple of weeks.
That's a hard task. That's a hard task.
59-50.
That's a hard task, Ray. The way they've been playing, Ray, I don't know. That's a hard task to be shutting people up.
Again, I know, I agree, Jerome. I don't trust their defense at all. That's why if I'm Caleb Williams, I'm like, no, we're running the ball here, man.
1 point.
Go ahead.
1 point to Cal. They won by 1 point to Cal.
I agreed. They made the Cal quarterback look like he's Archie Manning.
That's what I'm saying.
So, but that's the point, though. That's why, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to run the ball, and we're going to run the ball. And we're going to keep that guy off the field because the only thing that can stop us from getting a win, getting another Heisman, and maybe having an outside shot at a conference championship, we have to beat that team.
Yeah. I agree. Man.
We can go out there and slinging the ball around and keep everybody entertained and lose 59-50. Go ahead.
I can't wait to see this game. I'm actually upset because there's two really good games, the best games of this freaking week, and they're both playing at the same time. So I might have to do some kind of dual TV thing. I'm not flicking back and forth. There's no way I'm doing that. I might have to one computer here, do it like that. I might have to do that. But
when I have a day like that, even when Miami's playing a good team and I'm watching fantasy and I'm watching Red Zone, I got two TVs and a computer screen on all day.
Hey, my God. That's how I am too. That's how I am too on all Sundays. This Sunday, I'm telling you, it's Cowboys week. Best believe that's gonna be me all day.
Why don't we pick the last game here? Then I'll get into what I was going to say.
All right, cool.
I'm looking at Alabama over LSU. Maybe so.
This game, right? This game is crazy. I mean, I'm obviously going to take the team with the history, team with the most prestige coaching. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you love me saying that, but I'm taking Alabama as well. But this game, I don't know, Ray. It's going to be a close game. I respect the line on this one. I will say this, though. This game is huge for Alabama. This game is huge for Alabama. I mean, let me see who else they play this year to finish up. But if they lose this game, don't even think about the college football rankings. But if they win, you're gonna make some arguments. They do finish the season. UConn, Chattanooga, and Auburn. This is the game. This is a game where you push and make those, rankers make you go into the playoffs. This is the game right here. You cannot lose this game. You can't. Plus what?
Plus they lost to LSU last year.
Yes, exactly. So it's a revenge game.
Correct.
The only thing about this game, though, LSU's defense is so bad, and it drives me crazy how bad that defense is. I've never seen an LSU defense look like this before. I don't know what's going on. Talk to your boy. What's going on?
I don't talk to him no more, man. We haven't had a conversation in a couple of years now.
Ray's like
no, I think, honestly, Jerome, I agree with you. I think Alabama looks at this game and says, you know what? It's a good team. We lost to them last year. And here's the thing, I think they win by this game by 10 points. I think they're looking at like we need to win this game by 2 scores to make people really believe that we're Alabama again.
I agree with that. No, they are peaking at the perfect time too. Right. They're literally peaking. This is the game.
Their quarterback literally has picked the perfect time to be playing his best football.
100%. 100%. And this is the game where you're like, if we could put a stamp on this game, they had to start talking about us.
Yes.
Nobody was talking about us in the beginning. We were struggling this, we were struggling that. Quarterback's not that great, blah, blah. They lost the game. Who did they lose to again?
Oh, darn.
Hold on. I literally have it right here. While I'm trying to think. Texas. They lost to Texas in the second week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that was the perfect time to lose early in the season.
Always.
It was ranked at the time.
Always.
That was the perfect time. That was literally the perfect time.
Yep.
Since then,
wouldn't be the first time that Alabama's lost a game early in the season and came back and win the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right. They beat Ole Miss, who's ranked right now. They beat Tennessee, who was ranked as well. They can beat this LSU team. Yep. Best one-loss team in the nation. Yep. Best one-loss team in the nation.
Yep.
And then if any of those teams at the top start slipping, Oregon. Oregon already got one loss. So you got Oregon. You got to look at Washington. They got a tough game.
And this is what I mean, though. And honestly, would you take an Oregon team over Alabama? Because I would never do that. I'm not going to lie about it.
No.
You told me right now Alabama's going to play Oregon this week. I'm taking Alabama. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like this is what the people need to realize. This is what these guys that make these rankings were thinking. Like, Oregon, Alabama. I mean, who are you going to take? I mean, come on, man. Let's be real about it.
Yeah.
Like we know that Oregon's a good Pac-12 team. They are.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really an SEC good team? They're not. They will lose to Alabama. They would probably lose to Tennessee. They'll lose to Georgia, obviously. They're a good team. They're not SEC good. They're not. I'm sorry, man. They're not.
Correct. No, I agree. So we'll definitely see about that, man. Those two games are going to be some fun games to watch. Like I say, I might have to dual screen something. I might have to figure that one out. One of them, I don't know. I might have one audio on for the one quarter, one audio off, and alternate the audios. I don't know.
This is what I was going to get to. The one advantage I have is, you know who Miami plays this week, right? They play the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany.
Listen,
9:30 in the morning, baby.
But look, Ray, this is my issue with this, though. It's my only issue with this. When's the last time you seen Mahomes lose 2 times in a row?
No, I'm not happy that they lost this week. I didn't want them to lose.
I agree, because you got to upset Mahomes, who was sick last week, so he's going to be healthier this week. I don't know how much healthier he is, because here is the flu, so we see sometimes the flu lingers a little bit. But he's going to be healthier, warmer environment, because it was in Arrowhead or Miami.
What's that?
Where's it, Arrowhead or Miami?
Germany.
Oh, so is that? It's kind of cold in Germany. It's kind of cold. I don't think it's freezing cold. I don't think it's gonna be Denver cold at all.
Good. I'd rather play in Germany than in Arrowhead. Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree.
That's crazy.
That's gonna be a game, Ray. That's gonna be a game.
Wait, man. It's gonna be
beautiful. We got some. Yeah, and that's an early game too. I'm waking right out of my eyes.
And I get to see Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard on the field at the same time for the first time this year.
Yep.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey had that pick last week.
Can't argue with goosebumps, brother. Can't do
it. Hey man, you definitely got Jalen Ramsey back at a good time, especially after the Eagles loss, and now you got him back, man. If we play with Jalen Ramsey on the foot, I've been kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie, like. He's a guy. That
and the fact that Armstead is healthy for the first time in 3-4 weeks. He's going to play. Connor Williams is back going to play my center. So I'm excited. This is a game that's going to. It's not a make or break. It's a statement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a statement game. They could even lose a game if it's real, like a 35-33 game, 33-31. 30, 31, 29. I want to win.
Yeah.
But as long as it's a good game, because I know Kansas City has struggled this year a little bit, and people have seen them struggle.
Yeah. Their receivers are not that great. So Ramsey's gonna have
you, Andy. This is not Philadelphia. You need wide receivers, okay, brother?
No, for real. No, for real. I mean, dude, you got rid of all your receivers, and now you're like,
who would have ever thought that Juju Smith-Schuster would be missed?
The fact that they had to get McCole Harmon back,
yeah,
and it wasn't like he was a free agent. They had to trade him back to bring him back in. And he wasn't a great receiver for them. He really wasn't.
No, and here's the other thing. I think they were expecting more out of Kadarius Toney than he's able to give them. He stinks.
You think?
No, I think.
Dude stinks.
I think he thought that he was going to be that he would improve catching the ball.
No.
But like I don't
understand
it. Like how could you be that athletic and not be able to catch the ball at all?
He stinks.
I don't understand.
He stinks.
I do. I mean, I do understand.
I listen. I was at the Senior Bowl when he was there. Got to talk to him a little bit. Two things. When you're at the Senior Bowl and you're struggling at the Senior Bowl, that's a problem.
Yeah, because them guys are just
and again, there is a lot of people that struggle at the Senior Bowl because you're rotating in, you're not really blah blah blah. It's really about the practices. Even in practice, he wasn't looking. That's one. Two, he was worried. He was talking about his rap career way too much for me when we was asking questions. Yes, he was way too worried about his rap career. When he was saying that, it just made me feel like he wasn't ready, or not really even ready. He wasn't really always focused on football. Football was there. He played the game.
I get you.
So talking about his rap career way too much for me. I'm just like, okay.
I get you.
All right, sure. No, and right? That wasn't their. That's not who the Giants wanted. That's not who.
No, your guy.
Yeah, you wanted Smith.
They honestly, Jerome, I thought Kadarius Toney was going to be a good, solid NFL player. I did. I know he can't catch the ball, but I thought play him in a West Coast offense where you're not really catching the ball downfield. You're kind of catching the ball in front of you, you know what I mean? Easier passes to catch. But man, how can you see? Do you know what the funny thing for me is, though, Jerome? The one thing I could do is catch the ball. I mean, I've never really been fast.
Yeah, I remember that. You got some mitts on you.
But I can run a route and I can catch the ball.
Yeah,
I don't understand. You've been playing football your whole life, man. I mean, get me wrong. Jalen, the one thing I love Jalen Waddle. The one thing he does though that drives me crazy is he always wants to catch the ball with his body. I freaking hate it.
Yeah. I noticed that too. I did notice that too. So.
But that's what I mean. I've noticed that with Kadarius Toney too. And don't get me wrong, Waddle's way better than Kadarius Toney, and he catches the ball much cleaner than Toney too. But I don't know. I thought you put him with a good quarterback like Mahomes. Maybe it helps him out, but man, that kid.
Yeah. All right, real quick question, and we can talk a little bit about the NFL after we get off a little bit, guy, because we are still recording the podcast. We still in the podcast.
I got you.
But real quick, one quick question, NFL wise, because you're a hardcore Miami fan. I'm a hardcore Eagles fan. Both of us have very good wide receivers on our team, and two in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to bias aside, because I'm having troubles with this. I'm going back and forth. I want to know what you think. AJ Brown or Tyreek Hill? Who you taking?
That's Jerome. I don't.
I'm having trouble with that, and I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm trying not to be biased.
They're both extremely talented
in different ways. Too.
Very, very, very different, man.
Yes.
AJ Brown is a point of attack kind of guy, physical. You can't shield him off the ball, and Tyreek Hill is just the most explosive player in the league, maybe.
Dude, hardest question. It's such a hard question because they are so different. AJ Brown, you could throw it up to him, have 3 guys around him, he still come down with the ball.
Yeah.
You don't pass it to him, he can go down the field 80 yards and get you a touchdown. It's hard to even talk about that conversation. So that's why I wanted to ask you. I can't even answer that myself.
I'll be honest with you, one thing I hear and I don't want to get too much in the NFL, but a lot of people will say, well, of course Tua is good. Look at his receivers. And I get part of that.
Yeah.
But
he still got to throw it too.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts probably has the most complete offense of any team in the league.
Yeah.
But I don't hear people say that about him.
That's true. I mean, I think it's all, and sometimes it comes down to what you have done for me lately.
The only team, I would say that the Eagles and the Dolphins have the best pair of receivers of any team in the league.
I agree.
I don't care what anybody tells me. I think that the difference, though, is Miami guys are explosive playmakers, where Eagles guys are route runners and point of attack type of guys, where you throw the ball up and they come down with the ball. So they're very different, but they're still very good.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I know you see that number, what, 80? Was he 80, 88, 80? I know you seen him.
Yeah.
That Alabama guy.
Yeah.
Julio Jones. Oh my God.
3 years ago, that didn't matter.
Dude, no, I was saying the same thing you was, Ray. I was. But you got a seasoned vet in Julio Jones who's going to catch the ball. Nah, bro. I thought my team was good with Quez Watkins as a slot guy. The issue was Quez Watkins didn't catch the ball. We got a receiver that's going to catch the ball now.
One thing I will say that I don't like about the Eagles offense is they don't use Dallas Goedert enough.
They've been I 100% agree with that. They've been trying to do that lately. The game against you guys, he went crazy. He almost had 100 yards. Last game, he almost had 100 yards. So
he is the one guy in your offense that I think is really talented that they don't use enough.
I agree. He's really good. He's really good at blocking too. So that's the thing about it as well. He kind of got that kind of Kittle effect.
You know as well as I do, dude. When Miami took Mike Gesicki over Dallas Goedert, I was pissed, dude.
Yeah, you was. Definitely was. Well, that's going to do it for us.
All right, we're going.
We're going to talk about this off air, man. We're an hour and 23 minutes in. So thank you guys for getting on with us. We do appreciate you guys. Remember, this is the RPO College Football Podcast. We can get some NFL a little bit in there, man. We might have to interject with that NFL podcast this Saturday. But thank you guys for getting on. We do appreciate you guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to know when we are live. You can go live like our guy Remy and our guy Chris. Obviously, I knew they was going to get on, be on Ohio State guys. I knew they were going to do that to us. But we do appreciate you guys getting on each time. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure that you check out all our content on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We have a lot of great stuff. We do NFL, college, and high school football. We got a new podcast called First and Foremost, and that's going to talking about high school football. So make sure you check that out. We're doing that on Tuesday nights with some of the guys here in Georgia, Najee and Bacon. Really love that podcast. We're trying to do some great stuff with that, so make sure you tune in with that as well. Obviously, we got the NFL one, Air It Out podcast. That's on usually Saturday mornings. Hopefully, we keep making that consistent. But we have that on there. Follow us with RPO College Football Podcast. Usually Wednesday nights. We're thinking about changing it to Saturday morning. We're gonna see about that. We might alternate. We'll see. We kind of playing around with it a little bit. But definitely check us out, man. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hope that you enjoy your college football weekend. I think it's going to be a really good weekend for everybody. So we'll see you next week. Enjoy, be safe, and have a good one. Peace.